Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the King by King Media TV. And once again, I'm your host, the Double OG Career Boxing, Ted King. And we're going to be talking about these upcoming bouts with the stars of boxing. Starting with the Pacquiao versus Mayweather, or Mayweather versus Pacquiao, however you want to put it. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, subscribe on this channel, and enjoy the show. So let's get started. Now, Manny Pacquiao fought Mario Barros to a draw, which was a great fight, by the way. He showed that he still had plenty of fire left. In fact, in my opinion, I thought he won the fight, but they didn't give him a nod for the victory. And of course, we know now that Mario Barros is no longer the champion. He was defeated by the very formidable and very popular Ryan Garcia. So now it appears that Pacquiao, who's obviously been yearning for this particular bout rematch with Floyd Mayweather, is going to get it. And he's going to be getting it in September, I believe, 16th, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll check that for sure to make sure that that's correct. But yeah, I find it very intriguing. Not because, they're stars, have been stars in the sport of boxing, but for the fact that they'll be fighting at 49 and 47 years of age. And oh, by the way, Pacquiao does look very good in his training. And let's take a look at this training that Pacquiao is doing. He's looking really good. They got side by side. Also, want to give a shout out to Fight Hype for the footage here, because Fight Hype obviously did a side by side comparison, and now we get a chance to see exactly what, in fact, how in fact these two guys compare. Now I'm going to tell you, watch this footage, and I have to say that fast hands, while Mayweather like Pacquiao. So Pacquiao perhaps is more ready for the bout coming up. We'll have to see when that's happened. But in the meanwhile, let's take a look and see how these guys are looking.
Slide, can drop. Drop. Walk. Sit. Watch it. I step back like I have my distance. That's why I step. See, I have my distance. Fighters don't know their distance. right hand hook.
Talented fighter. Like, he's accomplished what no other fighter is ever going to accomplish. Again, you know, but I don't feel like, you know, he did it on his own.
Watching Floyd fight is actually more my style of that perfect boxer.
That's what
when I do a pound for pound ranking, I'm trying to be objective. Pacquiao jumped more weight classes. What he did pound for pound to me was more impressive.
Hard work first. Do it quick, do it quick. Your mind, your heart, your focus. Let's go.
Terrence Crawford breaks down how Manny Pacquiao could beat Floyd Mayweather, noting speed may fade, but power, skill, and legacy remain unmatched, making victory possible.
You may lose speed, you may lose athleticism, but that power gonna still be there. Look at George Foreman.
Right.
Max Kellerman praises Manny Pacquiao, saying his career achievements are more impressive than those of Floyd Mayweather Jr., and that he still performed well after years away.
Floyd isn't going broke. So by the way, if he is, that he makes all the money in the world for a Pacquiao fight and rides off into the sunset a rich man, I wish him the best.
I want to fight somebody. I don't care about the money and all that. You know,
Who you want him to fight?
That's not good with
don't
Pacquiao.
wanna
Pacquiao just drew with Barrios.
and you see what he look like?
Yeah, because they're not on that level anymore.
What do you think is going to happen here, though? What do we think is going to happen in Mayweather Pacquiao? Are you interested in it?
Yep.
Is it a good fight?
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah, me
watching.
too.
Watch it. The first one was awful, but now they're 50 years old. Let's see it.
Nicholas Irving notes that a fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao now would generate little fan interest, as the matchup peaked over a decade ago.
Yesterday, today is his birthday. He just turned 49.
Okay. I mean, granted, Pacquiao and Floyd are still better than a lot of fighters out that are active right now. That's how good they were in their prime, and that's the dedication they had to the sport. But Like, again, no one asked for a Floyd Pacquiao fight, part 2. We've already watched the first one, and I think that first one should have happened way before in his career. Way before that fight, back when they were both, hungry dogs and not hopping around trying to do this fight to keep a whatever record. Pacquiao's my guy too, but I just don't have a desire to watch these two go back at it again. I saw the first one, and it was just like every other Floyd fight after he broke his hand.
Joe Rogan tells Jim Lampley that Manny Pacquiao's power is unmatched, dominating 8 weight classes with a uniquely impressive record.
Is that he kept his power through 8 weight classes. That is just wild. Like, what other fighter can you name that went through 8 different weight classes as a world champion?
I can't. None. No, obviously.
Jim Lampley explains that power punching is a science, and Manny Pacquiao naturally demonstrates it with precision.
Power punching is not a physical gift. Power punching is a science. Power punching is the product of real technical knowledge. Power punching is about footwork, weight shift, the angle at which you deliver the punch, all sorts of things not directly related to your strength or, quote, power.
We're getting a lot of views and opinions about who they think is going to win the fight, how the fight's going to play itself out. Once again, that we don't know that until the end of the fight. That makes sense, right? But granted, it's always good to hear opinions to get a semblance of what people think as far as how this fight's going to go. So let's move on to Gervonte Tank Davis. Because Gervonte Tank Davis, he's also in the he's been in the background, right? You hear people talk about it. We don't know exactly when or if he's going to be the same Gervonte Tank Davis after this layoff, but we can assume that he's probably going to be. And so let's walk down the up and coming fight perspective on Gervonte Tank Davis. And so we're going to go and we're going to take a look at what the talk is on Gervonte.
To the public on your story and, played some kind of game or trolled. Like, most people that are going to do something like that, they'll troll, and then, maybe the next story will be like, nah, I'm just playing. JK, just...
Gervonte Davis will knock out Shakur Stevenson, according to a boxing analyst who dismissed doubts from Timothy Bradley and Paulie Malignaggi, citing Stevenson's recent performance.
Talk about Shakur going... do this. I saw Tim Bradley say Shakur gonna beat Gervonte Tank Davis. Paulie Malignaggi said the same thing. Look, I get it. Shakur Stevenson has reached the heights of, he's a very skillful guy, right? His last fight, his last showing was very poor. You know what I'm saying? He didn't box, he ran the whole, fight. And now he's taking on the mindset of, I'm going to get aggressive. If he do that, I'm telling you, even against Harunyan, if that man try to get aggressive and try to come forward and do all that, he getting stopped. Shakur Stevenson, don't get baited into that stuff. Fight your fight. Bye.
Shakur Stevenson outlined his conditions for a fight with Gervonte Davis. A fair weight, no rehydration clause, and strict testing, indicating his clear willingness to make the fight happen.
One no rehydration clause.
Well, here in the video, it's kind of because that sounds like they're talking about Ryan Garcia. There's no reason to ever have a rehydration clause versus Tank Davis. In other words, Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis, there should be no restoration clause whatsoever in terms of that fight, or any testing, because he's never tested. Gervonte Davis has never tested dirty. So they're probably talking about, in reference to, there was some talk about Ryan Garcia. And of course, Shakur Stevens, because as soon as the fight was over with, that they started talking Ryan and Shakur, or Shakur versus Ryan. Now, during that fight, after the fight was over with, Conor Ben got in there. They started going back and forth. There's all kind of talk and the narrative regarding the fights. Who's going to be fighting who, when they're going to be fighting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to hear that nonstop until the fights are being made. So that's just part of how boxing goes. And so we can expect that to happen. But in my opinion, as far as the money goes, in terms of the fan, a Shakur Stevens fight with Ryan Garcia would be a big one right now. Ryan Garcia, he's a champion now at 147. Of course, Shakur Stevens is a champion at 140, not quite 147 pounds. So, but in terms of, back and forth, so that's what the problem is. The problem is, can Ryan Garcia get down to, let's say, 144 and, make this fight just for fans' sake, not necessarily for, any belts or any titles, just for getting the seats, getting people in the seats, for the fights. And that's what we'll have to see if they can make it happen. So we don't know, right? Just to, for realistically, the fight with Gervonte Tank Davis is the more realistic fight. And of course, that's a big name fighter against another big name fighter. And Gervonte Tank Davis has if you want to call it a draw, a blemish, then I guess you could call it that. But he doesn't have a clear undefeated record like he had before. So yes, but anyway, let's move on because there's more interesting fights coming up. Because David Benevidez will be fighting Cinco de Mayo, and he's let's go see what David's talking about, because he's did an interview with Andre Berto, and they very candid, very interesting interview that they did, and I thought that he let people know some things about himself that coming up in the sport of boxing that was kind of interesting. So let's go to that interview real quick and see what they're talking about here.
But yeah, man. But so this is what I'm saying. This is how I found out my dad was crazy, because my dad would put me with all these people. My dad would put me with all these world champions.
Test you out. He ain't getting
I'm a little kid, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking of it like, damn, my dad, what if I would have, what if they beat the shit out of me? I don't think he would have cared to put me in there to learn. So, but my dad, he's a tough dude, bro. He's like either you protect yourself. That's what I like about him, because he always showed me that if we don't protect ourselves, then nobody's gonna come in and save us.
That's a fact, man. That's that tough love that we put into you. And I mean, of course, you see what it did. You know what I'm saying? You got that mindset.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous right now. And it's amazing. So at 16, bro, you turned pro in Mexico. Who prompted that decision, bro?
At
16.
My father.
Yeah, instead of trying to just trying to go the Olympic route or go the amateur route. Of course, you had a few amateur fights.
So for me, I think once, my father had all that experience with my brother, my brother had like 200 fights, something like that. So I think they were done with that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of traveling, a lot of time, and then also it's a lot of politics in amateur boxing too.
Yes, sir.
A lot of politics. So, I mean, the way I was training, I wasn't training like amateur. I was training with my brother.
Yeah.
So it's different. The type of training you do is different.
Yeah.
So, we said, we might as well just go pro. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't have time to do amateurs. We're gonna just build your record in Mexico. Build your record in Mexico, and then try to get signed over here. But the thing about my deal is, I didn't get no crazy deal. I didn't get no crazy signing bonus. I get none of that.
So this is the interesting part about the interview. He's going to go ahead and talk about how he was signed, what happened leading up to his signing. Which I found it very interesting. How he was, his dad was, putting him with people who quite experienced, and he was still a teenager at the time, and he fared well with them. And so now he's going to go on. He's going to talk about how he got signed. And I thought that was this is very interesting how he ended up getting signed.
I was like 8-0 with 7 knockouts at the time, before 18.
Okay.
Before 18, when I built my record up and stuff. Nobody wanted to sign me.
Really?
Not Top Rank, not Golden Boy, nobody. I got up to like 12-0.
We sent them tapes and everything.
Yeah, bro. I'm stopping everybody. I'm doing everything right. Nobody wanted to sign me. So the way I got signed is I got invited to spar Julius Jackson in the Virgin Islands. So I went out there, bro, and I let him have it. I'm not gonna lie. The first day I went out there, I let him have it. His manager called Samson Lukowitz. Is like, hey, you have to sign this dude because you have to sign this dude. If not, this is gonna be the biggest mistake you make. So shout out Samson. That was my 10th fight. Signed that. And we wanted a signing bonus, obviously, but they didn't want to give us that.
They want to give it up.
They're like, you know what? We're gonna give you hard fights, and we're gonna pay you more the harder the fight gets.
Hey, please hit the tough road, boy. You gotta prove yourself.
So I'm like, shit, fuck it. Like, shit, I'm ready. Let's get it. So then I really started making a name for myself. The one fight I really made a name for myself was I fought some guy named Philip Jackson in California. And I was 14-0 with 13 knockouts. He was 16-1 with 15 knockouts.
God,
so this was like my first test.
Shit.
And I laid his ass out second round. And then just from there, bro, just the motivation kept going up. I became the youngest super middleweight champion in history at 20.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did your life change after that, bro? I mean, of course, you guys been putting in a lot of work for a long time. Really, your pops, really just taking that hard road to really get up there.
Yeah.
How did your life change?
It changed a lot, bro. Just being able to do more stuff. Also, when you start to make more money, you start to get into more problems. You know what I mean? But I think as a man, if you're able to look at that and learn off of those mistakes, you're able to achieve more. If you learn.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't learn, then you're fucked.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Like in 2018, you went through a situation that you went through.
Okay, so that was quite interesting how, he signed so we're going to close out on this today's program with our main guy, which would be Floyd Mayweather, because I'm very interested as to what Floyd Mayweather is going to do. He hasn't been having a real fight, so I'm very curious as to what Floyd and the fight. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. And so we'll take Mr. Mayweather and see what he's got to say in an interview. Then we're going to get back with you guys tomorrow.
And I'm still enjoying training. Like nothing's changed about I don't easy for in terms of sacrifices, training every morning, every day like that. But I'm enjoying it.
Manny says taking time off gave his body the rest it needed, but now he's back in training, working harder than ever, proving he's still at his very best.
I started boxing when I was 12 years old, 11 years old, so that's not. I think about it that it's good for me to give my body rest. I'm able to rest for 4 years now. Now I'm back. I'm blessed by God.
Feels good, Manny, or what?
You feel good. Nice and back. I feel happiness in my heart that I can come back here for a fight in Vegas. Nice. I mean, that's what I want.
Manny says age doesn't matter if you still love what you do, as long as you enjoy your work and stay passionate. Every year can be fulfilling and rewarding.
You know, that's the evidence of you being passionate with the sport. Like, it's a like part of your life, a boxer, like to fight. And I grow in boxing. As long as I'm still enjoying the training, I'm happy continuing my career.
Manny's main goal is always to give fans a great fight, not just running around in the ring.
That's my inspiration. Give a good entertainment to the fans. Every fight, I always consider that it's gonna be a fight of toe to toe. Not running around like that.
Okay, so we're going to end our show for today. And thanks for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like, share the video, hit that subscription button, and we'll see you on the next one. Once again, I'm Ted King, the Boxing. Until the next one.